To create vendor master, we use XK01, XK02, XK03 screen. Centrally, if you want to create your vendor, we use these screens. Financially, if I want to create my vendors, I use FK01, FK02, FK03. At purchasing level, if I want to create my vendor MK01, MK02, MK03. Vendor has a code which is called as account type. Vendor means always K. Because in SAP vendor means K, you see K is K, K, K. X is centrally, F is for finance, M is at materials management level. So these transaction codes which you have.
What does centrally mean?
Yeah, I'm coming on this. I'll explain that as well. So the transaction codes which we have here are created logically. Means if I want to create my vendor centrally, I will go to these screens. At financial level, I go to these screens. At procurement level, I go to these screens. But what these means? Centrally means, or basically, I'll show you here. When we create a vendor, we have to maintain general, company code, purchasing information. We discussed through field status already here. Right? I explained you that when we create any vendor, we maintain general company code and purchasing information. So if we have entire piece of, like we have a complete information of a supplier, we can create our vendor at central level in which we'll update or we will maintain general information, accounting, which is company code information, purchasing, which is purchasing information. If we have every piece of information for our vendor master, we create vendor centrally because we want to maintain our vendor fully. But its financial department can also create vendor. But if finance department is or financial team is creating vendor, they will maintain general and company code information because they will not have procurement purchasing information of the supplier. If financial team has to create vendor, they will go to this FK01 to 3. If purchasing team means we have to create, team has to create, they will create at this level, purchasing level, where they will have general and purchasing information. They will not have financial or company code information. That means vendor can be created at 3 levels. If we create vendor centrally means we have complete information and we can create vendor fully. If finance team is creating means they can create vendor at their level for their information, and later purchasing team will just add their information for the vendor. Or if purchasing team is creating vendor, they create this vendor completely, but without accounting information, but this vendor is created. Once it's created, they update finance team and finance will add their information for the existing vendor. But ultimately, vendor's complete record needs to be maintained. We will try to create vendors centrally because we want to maintain everything. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in SAP, we have a pattern. This pattern is called as pattern 1, 2, 3. Pattern 1, 2, 3 means create, change, display. Pattern 1, 2, 3 means create, change, display. Anything I want to create. I want to create vendor, I want to create material, I want to create purchase requisition, I want to create purchase order. Anything I want to create will be 1. Like for example, XK01, XK01, MK01, or MM01. Anything I want to create means 1. Anything I want to change means something is created, I just want to make changes. 02. Or if I just want to display that information, I go to 03, XK03, FK03. Like. So this pattern is very important for us to know, because most of the transaction code which will be using this sequence, like, create and display, will always follow this 1 to 3 pattern. I'll open all 3 screens, XK01, FK01, and MK01, so that you can see the difference between these screens. This is XK01, where system asks for accounting information, purchasing information, account group means general info. I click on Control and or Command and to open another screen. One more session. I go to MK01 screen. Here system is asking for purchasing information and account group general information, but no company code information. I Control and one more time. I get one more screen. And I go to XK01. Here system would ask for company code and accounting information, account group, but not purchasing information. When finance team will create, they will create here without purchasing information. When procurement team creates, they will create here without accounting company code information. But when we maintain vendors centrally, we maintain here XK01, where we maintain information for all 3 categories. Okay, so I close this, and I come to this screen because I want to maintain complete information from a vendor for all 3 sections. So now we are ready to create vendor master. When we come to this XK01 screen to create vendor, system will ask for vendor's number, company code in which you want to create your vendor, purchasing organization in which you want to add, and your account group information. Vendor number we never give. System manages automatically. Leave vendor blank. Leave vendor blank. Go to next one, company code VD01. Leave your purchasing organization VD01. Give your account group VD01. Why I'm giving same codes? Because I created these codes for these different units. In real time, you may have different codes as well, but it's completely fine. Whatever company code we have, put the company code, purchase organization put here, and whatever account group you have in which you want to create your vendor, add your account group. You can't come to the screen without creating these things because it will give you error. For that reason, first we created all these things, organizational units, and now we are creating vendor for this combination. Vendor we leave blank. Press enter to get inside the screen to maintain information of your vendor. Title means the supplier which you are trying to create is what type of supplier. Is it a company? Is it a person or what? Usually our vendor will be another company. And you give the name of your company, supplier. Let's say Vasu vendor number 1. And then comes search term. Search term means this is name of your vendor, but to search this vendor from all the vendors when we have, you can use any short code as well. Let's say VV01. That means whenever this vendor I want to search, I can search my vendor through this search term VV. And then these are another fields, field, 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 field. So many fields you can see here. Something is which is important and required, you will have for that field this check mark. That means other information can be, other fields can be skipped for now, but country field is required. Set is required, so we cannot skip it. So put your country CA. Or you can use the drop down as well to select your country. Other fields, if you have information, you can fill like address. If you have, you can fill up, or we can do it later as well, but it's not required for now. This is one page for your vendor. Then we go to next page, next screen to add more information. This button. Next page, next screen, previous screen. Next page, previous page. So let's go to next screen. Here we add accounting information, tax information for our vendor. Because it's not for us for accounting, we are not going to maintain next screen. Here we maintain bank information of your vendor, banking details of your supplier, but it's for finance to maintain next screen. Here we add contact person for your vendors. That means Johnny D in department finance. Kathy P in department procurement. So here for your vendor, we can add contact people for the respective departments. This is also optional, but I explain it to you. Next screen. This is also accounting screen, where system is asking for a reconciliation. We can't skip because it's required. So click on the drop down and you will see these things. These are different GL or general ledger accounts. What is GL? What is general ledger? We will discuss when we are discussing basics of finance. But for now here, for each of the vendor, when you create your vendor master, use one GL account 160000. Always for every vendor, use this number. Always for every vendor, use this GL account, a reconciliation account number 160000. Again, when I click on the drop down, how come I see all of these? Because these are showing up in my company codes, because when I created my company code from that template 1000 company code, in which all of these were created already. So when I copied 1000 and created my VD01, GL accounts are also copied, right? And I'll be using just one, always 1600. And there is something called as cash management group, which is not relevant for us, but because it's required, I put something, let's say able. Vendors information, I filled up reconciliation account, I give my cash management group, I go to next screen. Again, this is also accounting screen. How do I know this is accounting screen? You see this one. You see the name of the screen, accounting, payment transactions accounting. Vendors accounting information like payment method, their banking information, payment terms, blah, blah, blah things needs to be maintained, but by finance team, not by us. So we go to next screen. Again, this is also correspondence accounting. Dunning. This is called as Dunning screen, where we have to provide Dunning information. Dunning is nothing but reminder messages or reminder, notes to your suppliers or customers for payment. Reminders for payment. If you want to issue any reminder letters to our suppliers or customers, For that, we have this screen, but still this is accounting, not for us. Next screen. And now comes our screen, as you see, purchasing data. Whatever fields we want to maintain, we can maintain. If you remember, I made purchase order currency required, so it's required information. I made terms of payment required, so if you see you have this green check, that means we got to fill this to information minimum. So I give my currency CAD, and I add my payment terms from the drop down. Let's say immediately, payable immediately. I can add other fields as well, but for now, I just maintain these two because I made these two as required. Then I go to next screen. Here we have to add partner functions information. But this partner function topic is another separate topic. In detail, we discuss about partner function. And when we are discussing partner function, we come back to create a vendor master again, and then we see how partner function would change a vendor master information. So for partner function, for now, I just leave it blank. I'm not putting nothing. I just go to next screen. And once all the screens will be done, system will ask me to save the details. If I say yes, I want to save this, means vendor will be created. Okay. But sometimes, not in real time, in the training environment, we may get this kind of messages, but that means the number range which I used, 0 to, is going to be used by other groups as well. And in other groups, this vendor is already created, right? I just exit. And I can try again, but we may get the same message again. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to quickly change the number range of our vendor account group so that we don't see these kind of unnecessary messages for now. For that, I go to financial accounting, accounts payable, vendor accounts, master data, preparations, create number range, insert interval. Let's say we're going to use 09. I'll try to use 09. Okay. I go to assign number range, VD01, and I change it to 09 and let's see it. Now let's try again. XK01 screen, create vendor, leave vendor number blank, company code, purchase organization, account group, press enter. Title company, vendor number 1, give your search term, give your country. Next screen, accounting information, tax information, next screen, banking information, accounting information, next screen, contact details, for now we can skip it, next screen, reconciliation account, always use 1600. Cash management, not important for us, use from the drop down any group. Again, this is accounting information, payment terms, payment method, dunning information, accounting information, our purchase order currency, our payment terms, immediately 0001. Next screen, this is partner function. Again, this is another topic for us. I skip it for now. Next screen, and if I save, system says all the way down at my footnote, vendor number blah 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 is created for my company code in this purchasing organization. So that's how we create one vendor. If I want to create one more vendor, I come to the same screen because this is XK01 screen. Leave a vendor blank. Why do we leave vendor blank? Because if you see, ultimately at the end when I save my vendor's information, vendor's number will be assigned automatically, like the one which we saw before. To create another vendor, put this details and press enter. Vendor number 2, search term, country, next screen, bank information, tax information, next screen, banking details, next screen, contact details, next screen, reconciliation account, Next screen, accounting information. Next screen, dunning information, which is accounting information. This is purchasing information. I add currency and payment terms. Next screen, part function, not for now. Next screen. Yes, I want to create another vendor. One more vendor with the number blah 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 16 is created. I want to create one more vendor. Press enter. Title, vendor number 3, country, tax information, accounting information, bank information, accounting information, contact details, reconciliation account 160000. Next information, next screen, payment term, accounting information, dunning information, order currency, purchase order currency. For my screen, purchasing screen, I add payment terms. I go to next screen, part of function, next topic, not for now, enter and say yes. That's how we create vendor master on XK01 screen. Very easy. We're just trying to add details. That's it. Next is XK02, change some information for your vendor. Sometimes vendor will change some details, like they relocate to another address. So they update us for the address. And we have to change the address in our system for our vendors. Name, they change any information, let's say phone number, email, address, name, banking information, payment terms, any changes if you want to make in the existing vendor, we go to XK02 /n XK02. Change vendor screen. In whatever vendor I want to make any changes from the drop down, I click on the drop down, I give my company code, I green check. And whatever vendors we have created in our company code, you get a list of your vendors here. Select the vendor in which you want to make some changes. Let's say vendor number 3, number 70. Give a company code in purchasing organization, and then you go to specific page where you want to change something. General screen, these are the pages. Company code, accounting, these are the pages. Purchasing, these are the pages. Any changes you want, just go to specific page. Now we do not have to go to all the screens because not required. But suppose I want to update the address of my vendor, I select this option and I press enter. I immediately go to this respective page where I can add the address. Let's say 123 New Street. Here I can add or edit anything from a vendor master. Press enter and save. I didn't see any of this screen because it was not required for me. That means you come to the screen, select the screen specifically where you want to make some changes and get inside and change and save. And final is if you want to just display my vendor master, just to make sure things are updated, XK03. Change vendor screen layout. Display vendor screen layout is exactly the same. But through the name, we can identify display vendor. That was before it was change vendor. Any page for any updates you want to check, select the page or select the screen like address. I just want to make sure that I've updated address of my vendor. I select this screen, I press enter. And what I see is my address is maintained and updated as well. That means here on this display vendor screen, I cannot edit anything. I can just have a display. Because if I want to make some changes, I go to change screen. To display, I come to this XK03 display screen. Here I have something called as display and change button. You see this display change button, display change. Spectacles and pen like button, display change. If I click on this display change button, my display screen can be converted into change screen. And my change screen can be converted into display screen. Usually we have two different screens. Change screen is XK02, Display screen is XK03, but the screens can be flipped. Suppose one more time, I come to the screen, I realize this is display vendor screen, everything is grayed out, means I cannot make any changes. See, I'm trying to edit, I'm not able to do nothing. But if I realize I want to make some changes, I have to still go to XK02 change screen, but from here as well I can flip. Click on this change button. I can make some changes and I can click on save. My vendor master will be updated. And this is how today we have finished vendor master topic. So now we are going to learn how we navigate from one screen to the other screen in SAP using a transaction code. I am on this easy access user screen, which is also called as home screen, main screen, user screen, front end screen. From this main screen, easy access screen, if I want to go to any screen, let's say XK01, I simply put the transaction code of the screen and I press enter. I come to the screen. I want to go back to my home screen. I put /n transaction code. /n is a transaction code which we use if you want to go back to our main screen from any SAP screen. Press enter, you come back to home screen. From home screen, if I want to go to some screen, one more time. If I want to go to, let's say, XK02 screen, I simply put my code and I press enter. I come to my change vendor XK02 screen. I want to go back to my home screen, I put /n. I am again on my easy access screen. This time I want to go to XK03. We display vendor screen. Simply put transaction code, press enter, you come to the screen. But now I do not want to go to my main screen. Instead, I want to go to some another screen, third screen. Let's say some screen. I want to create one material. MM01 screen. Because I am not on home screen, I cannot simply use the transaction code. I need to add /n and then my transaction code of the screen where I want to go. That means if I am on home screen, I use transaction code. But other than home screen, like this one, and from this screen, I want to go to some third screen, let's say XK01, create vendor screen. I cannot go using the same code. I mean, I can use the same code, but I have to add /n. That means through /n, through main screen, we are getting redirected to this screen. Put /n XK01, press enter. Again, put /n ME21 end screen, press enter. But now this is a screen. I want to go to some another screen. Let's say I want to create my vendor. XK01 screen, press enter. I can't go. See, I put press XK01. System is not giving me any response. MM01 not giving me any response. But now I put /n XK01. I come to /n screen. Means create vendor screen through /n. Through /n means through home screen. We are not directly going to the our screen, but we are going through /n through easy access screen. That's how we navigate. Is it clear?
Thank you, Gaurav.